Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are joined today by Christin Baker, Miss Dia Frampton, and Ashley Argota. Is that correct? How I said that?
That's correct. Good job.
All right. Of this wonderful new romantic comedy called I Hate New Year's, which comes out here at the end of this week. First of all, we knew because I've heard Megan Dia since I was 17 years old. We knew Dia was a terrific singer. I had no idea, Ashley, that you are also a terrific singer.
Thank you.
Let's start there. How does that happen? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not familiar with your work, but the second you started singing, I'm like, is that her singing? And I had to look it up because I wasn't sure. And it was.
Yeah, that's me. That's me singing.
That was amazing. Great job. Listen.
Thank you.
In the movie, your character says a line that I completely agree with, and we'll get to it later. But how did you become part of this whole scenario, Ashley?
I got the audition for it back in was it January, Kristen? Something like that. It was like the beginning of the year-ish. And then, they sent the script and I just put it on tape, and I sent a video of me singing at a piano at a performance I had done the summer of last year. And then I'm very much a person that's like, I'll audition for it and then I'll forget about it. And then all of a sudden I got a call and they were like, do the movie. And I was like, okay. And then we flew to Nashville and we shot a movie.
I love that. That sounds like a pretty easy way. What about you, Dia? How did you come to join this particular project? I don't think she can
hear me. It was pretty similar to Ashley. I received an audition, sent in a tape, and then I tried to forget about it too. But I'm always like, please let this happen. But yeah. Then I received a call and flew to Nashville and was really excited to be a part of it. It was all kind of magical. I'm the type of person who thinks that's never going to happen to me.
Same.
Wow. Complete pessimism all around. I both absorb and appreciate it. So let's talk to Kristen real quick about this project, because I did look into your filmography and I did look into all the brilliant stuff that you've done working, especially around the city of Nashville. It seems to be a character in a lot of your movies, and it's definitely one here. Let's talk about this project, why you wanted to do it, and how you were able to make a city that I don't traditionally see as all that glorious, glamorous, or beautiful into this absolutely breathtaking city that you want to be in.
Oh, thank you. So I got the audition notice and and then I just got a call. This has been, I think, probably from the earliest on, like one of my bigger passion projects as far as like kind of coming up with the overarching story. And I can't remember, I saw something like on Twitter where someone was like, there should be a story that takes place on New Year's Eve in New York City during the ball drop. And I was like, that's kind of interesting. Like something that takes place on such an iconic night. Like it's really the only holiday that really has sort of this like definitive night that has a thing that everyone collectively does. Like if you talk to someone about their Christmas or Thanksgiving tradition or like whatever holiday tradition, there's a variation on it. But New Year's really does have a very distinct like countdown, and then you hug or you kiss or you're with someone. And so it's just like a very shared collective holiday. And I thought that would be really interesting to shoot something like all on one night. And then it kind of like was one of those ideas that just like grabs you and just like doesn't let go. And I grew up in Nashville. And so I had friends who would come in town every New Year's on Nashville, and we would like rent a limo and we would just drive all over the city, like going to different cool, fun places or friends' parties or, downtown Nashville. And the coolest thing was like, you know, we could hop out of the car, not have to worry about parking or anyone drinking or any of those things, and then hop back in, and then just we were off and had a part of the fun too is like what happened in between going from place to place. And so then I very distinctly remember I was on a run because I was like just like kind of chewing through this, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to shoot this in Nashville. They have to be singers. And I'm going to go get songs from like my two friends who write this music. And then we'll put the songs in there. And then we'll get two people who sing. And it'll be like a musical kind of thing. And I was like, that sounds great. And I went and found these amazing songs that we're very lucky to have by Josh Alexander and Billy Steinberg. And then I actually like I just had different things that I wanted to happen. But for some reason, I don't know why, I'm a writer as well, but I just decided not to write this. And I contacted this person who had written Season of Love, and I was like, I have this idea. And I sent her what I wanted to kind of happen through the night. And actually, originally, Cassie was not in my idea. My idea was Lane running all around looking for her girlfriend, and then she actually ends up with the girlfriend in the end. And I know. And then when the writer went back and looked at it, she was like, which is why she wrote it and I didn't. She goes, there's no tension because they're not together the whole time. She's like, so what if I put in a best friend who she's in love with? And I was like, Kat Trammell, you're amazing. And Cassie, she created Cassie. And I was like, this is it. This is great. And I found the songs and I found these two and we were off to the races. And yeah, Nashville, I think Nashville is like, I think it's becoming a little maybe more iconic just because of all this stuff that's happening on Broadway now. But I think what sometimes gets lost in that is how many other amazing music venues there is in town. And so I think while we definitely highlighted Broadway, I also wanted to highlight there's all kinds of like live music and pop-ups happening every night in Nashville that if you want to go, like I could send a list as long as my arm of venues that have amazing live music every night in the city.
I love that answer. I also, as a man who lives in a city that people have wrong perceptions of, in Las Vegas here, I can tell you there's more to this city, much like I guess my opinion now of Nashville has totally changed. That happens. One of the themes, Christin, in a lot of your projects is a lot of the characters are LGBTQ. Can you talk about that a little bit and why that's prevalent and important for your particular work?
Not a lot of them, all of the leads are. So all of my movies have LGBT lead or queer women, really. Mm-hmm. And I think, I started doing this 12 years ago when there really wasn't as much representation on television. And I think that the more people can see their stories and the more we can tell stories of, communities that aren't mainstream, I actually think it makes it so important to see yourself being reflected. And what I love about this movie is not only do we have two queer female leads or characters, but they're also women of color. And I think both of those things coming together are unbelievably important, because if you don't see your stories being told, there is, I think, a subtle message of your stories aren't worthy of being told. And as soon as we see that, there's a feelingness of unworthiness. Like, oh, it's only straight white people that get to have a holiday movie. Fantastic. And it's like, no, like we need to have more of this and put more out there. Even those like super cheesy, genre rich, like iconic movies, like we deserve the cheesy tropes just like everyone else does. And so that's why I'm super passionate about specifically this genre, but also having, queer female characters in my movies.
I like that. Can I tell you, I'm notorious for my love of the romantic comedy. So give me all the cheesy tropes. You're not going to lose points with me for doing that. I tell you that much right now. There's a lot of chemistry between Cassie and Lane in the film. And Dia, Ashley, how was it trying to form that bond as both friends who turn into possible lovers and getting that to come off the page and work on the screen?
You want to go first, Dia?
I think it's just trust. when I met Ashley, I immediately just felt safe and seen, and I wasn't afraid to just do what I felt because I didn't feel like she's the type of person who would be like, that's dumb. Like, why would she do that? Or, there's just that kind of safe space that you want when you're making any kind of art, that you're not being judged by people. And Ashley was just instantly very welcoming, and very kind and a very giving actress and person. And so I just felt like after the first day I got on the phone with my friend, I was like, thank God, like the girl I'm doing basically the whole movie with is a nice human being. And now I just like, I felt like a weight was lifted from me. And obviously super talented, but just like kindness is so important.
I agree. And also, I remember being so afraid because I knew that they were going to pick us up at the hotel together that first day. And I was like stalling coming to the lobby because I was like, what if we don't get along? Like, what if she's not nice? I'm going to have to like sit in a car with her until we get to set. It's going to be so weird. And then I got downstairs and like, I had nothing to be afraid of. Like, just like what you said, it was such an instant bond, instant trust. And we had a lot of fun together. We had a lot of fun doing this movie together.
I like that. I like that answer, and I like that the chemistry now seems to permeate. While we're still on this film, two things I wanted to ask. Where does one get a copy of the soundtrack, and why isn't there one in my mailbox now? Right?
Kristen?
Well, let's see. Because we're an indie movie and we didn't have a lot of money, we only could get certain rights to the music. And so soundtrack very, very expensive. So if we sell like millions of copies in the movie, we can totally soundtrack because we can pay the artists what they should be paid for soundtrack rights. So get out there, rent and buy the movie, and we'll be able to have a soundtrack. But until then, enjoy it on the big screen.
Chris is doing a good job of peddling her wares. She deserves credit for that. Also, as the movie says, Flatline is a banger. That is true. That song is in fact a banger.
It's
right?
a banger. My fiance's had it stuck in his head since we watched the movie. Like consistently stuck in his head. He loves that song.
See, I watched it last night and it's been stuck since there.
Okay, can I tell a Flatline story? Yes. I don't think I haven't told the story. So I was trying, for the opening, you have that big concert opening, right? And so I was trying to find a band that was different. I needed two bands in pre-production. I needed the band that Dia plays with like at Venue 109, and then I needed an opening band. And I couldn't, it's freaking Nashville. I was like, why can't I find a band? Like, this is so ridiculous. And then I just had this like voice that was like, no, you need a DJ and backup dancers. And I was like, oh, I need a DJ and backup dancers. So, because I was like, that will be a totally different shift from like the look that she has at the beginning will be completely different then, and you'll really see this like flip and turn, and like it will be a lot of fun. And so I went up to, I think it was like a day or two before filming. Dia, you might remember the timing of this. I can't remember if it was the day before. I had talked to the hair and makeup people, and I was like, I want to give Dia a completely different look because she has those like the bangs and the hair. It's like I want it to be totally different for this opening because we spent all day or half a day at least like at the shooting it. And they go, yeah. And I was like, I want like a Vox Lux look with that. And they were like, oh yeah, okay, we can do that. So I was like, all right, let me check with Dia. So I go up to Dia and I go, Dia, I want you to have a completely different look for tomorrow for the concert. And Dia goes, whatever you want to do. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to pitch it to you. I can do whatever I want. Got it. You said it. And like, I ran, I was like, sweet, fantastic. And I went up to them and I was like, she's down for anything. So let's go. And I don't know if she's going to regret that forever and never tell a director like whatever, but she was. And then I went up and I was like, yes, that's it. And I could tell she was like, I really don't like, I think you did like something like that. Wasn't that it?
Oh, because I remember even when I tried on the outfit, I was like, I feel uncomfortable. And you said, great, that's exactly how you should feel. And it's good. It's good.
And then we made her learn a choreographed dance. like 2 days before with backup dancers and everything. I was like, man, she was so awesome. But I was like, hey, so we're going to do this. We're going to do a completely different look. She was like, great. Like, all right, see you later. Bye.
I love that because I think that works for the movie. It gives you that initial, like, she's a rock star now look. And then she gets back home and she's just this girl from Nashville.
Totally.
It totally works.
Thank you.
Also, it does look like Vox Lux. That is exactly the vibe I got. It was
good. If I could have put paint on her face, I would have, but we didn't.
I love that. So obviously, let's talk a little bit about you guys as far as your inspirations, your past works. And we'll start with Christin because she's the director. Obviously, as a filmmaker, you have inspirations. And who are some directors that you look at as inspiration?
Oh, I think Patty Jenkins is amazing. I think Ava DuVernay is phenomenal. I think those two are probably my go-to directors. I think the stories. I also like Greta Gerwig. I think her stuff is phenomenal. Like what she did with Little Women was absolutely mind-blowing and so I would say those three are my just absolute inspirations.
That's a great answer. Because honestly, with the way you handle things here, I got a lot of Penelope Spheris vibes off of the way you put this thing together. I don't know if you take that as offense or not, but that's the vibe that I got.
Right on.
Yeah. Now, what about you two ladies? What about you two as actresses and musicians? Because you are both musicians, obviously. I found that out now about Ashley, which is awesome.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead. Since we called you out here.
Oh, okay, sure. I wasn't sure. I was waiting for Dia. Yeah, I think singing inspiration. When I was little, this is so weird. I loved Celine Dion. Like she's the only singer I would listen to. If I know how to do any sort of like riff or run now, it's because of Celine Dion. It is likely a Celine Dion riff. So she's definitely my favorite. And I think acting wise, it was really interesting. Somebody had asked me in an interview just recently, who did you look up to when you were growing up? Like what Filipino actress did you look up to growing up? And I couldn't think of anyone because I don't, at least I wasn't aware of any Filipino actresses as I was growing up and starting acting. But I remember Sandra Oh being a really big influence just because I was such a huge fan of Grey's Anatomy, and to see this like really like badass Asian woman in such an amazing role on a network television show was really cool. I also love Tatiana Maslany because she can play any role ever, and Orphan Black is one of my favorite shows. The end. Goodbye.
That's a great answer. Also, Lea Salonga
Thank you.
is a good Filipino actress.
Lea Salonga, yes.
Great answers. I love Sandra Oh, both beautiful and powerful. Great answer.
She's amazing.
What about you, Dia?
Man, I've been on a Frances McDormand kick lately. Just watched 3 Billboards, and I'm waiting for Nomadland, Fargo. I just love her. And I guess I think I've been kind of interested in watching actors who are more, I don't want to say older because they don't feel old, but just seasoned actors. This young kid going out there. Maybe it's because I'm in my mid-30s now that I'm like, well, let's look at actors in their 50s. But there's just something so graceful about them. And I just watched Glenn Close and Hillbilly Elegy. And there's just something so inspirational. Definitely going down the Meryl Streep road, of course. Just watch Out of Africa. And
Queen.
I love, but that's kind of a given. But I've been studying a lot of David Fincher films lately because I sometimes like move a lot when I'm doing stuff and have like hand things. And I love how like still and precise he is with everything, with how you pick up a pen or how you wash a dish. And so I've been watching him with those intentions in mind because I'm kind of always like moving around.
I really like that answer, and I think that I like to say that Fincher is basically the stainless steel of direction. Everything he does is basically clean as a slate and then done, right? That's how it is. You watch his movies, you feel like there's a layer of stainless steel over them. I don't know why. It's just my weird head.
Yeah. Clean as a slate for 100 times and then done.
Yeah, then done. Totally. And obviously, who are some of your musical inspirations? Because like I said, I've listened to your music since Something Real back in 2004. I know who you are. Who are some musical inspirations for you?
I always loved Tom Petty. I just listened to Mike Campbell's interview on WTF with Mark Maron, and that was really cool to kind of get it behind the scenes of Tom Petty. So I listened to that all this morning, which was really awesome. And definitely feel the Celine Dion vibes.
Thank you.
I loved her albums. I can't remember the one where it's a white cover.
Oh yeah, that was when she
Like
did
Back to Me Now, or
It's All Coming Back to Me Now. Yeah.
well, it's not coming back to me now, but
Apparently not.
but all those artists that I couldn't emulate when I was a kid. Yeah, but Tom Petty's kind of my guy.
That's a good answer. I also, the one you guys are looking for is 1996's Falling Into You.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Also a banger.
Yes, it is. It's All Coming Back to Me Now is on that album. It is a banger.
Yep.
Thank you, Ashley. Now,
Yep.
a question I always like to ask, and it's more of a fun question I always like to ask. If you were stranded on a desert island, you could only have 2 films with you. What 2 would you pick? Why? And yes, this is the hardest question you will hear today. I saw your face, Ashley.
Oh man.
Who wants to take a stab at that one first? That's fun.
I know.
Sorry, what was the question? It froze up a little for me.
Basically, if you were stranded on a desert island and you only had 2 films you could have with you to watch, what 2 would you pick?
I have my 2.
What'd you got?
They're so different from each other.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yes.
And Wonder Woman.
So
That's it.
before we get to anybody else's answers, I need to preface this by saying my favorite film of all times is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. So excellent answer.
Hey, thank you.
That's the correct answer. Ashley wins. We're done here. I'm just kidding. Christin, Dia, what you got?
Gosh, I was trying to think of like what one did I watch like over and over again as a kid.
Mhm.
And the 2 movies that I think I would probably bring with me are The Princess Bride.
Oh, fine.
Yes.
Are we on the same island?
Probably.
Sorry, go on.
And probably the old version of Mary Poppins.
Mm.
Yeah, good choice.
The musical on one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, musicals are great. So that's a great answer. I like that answer, Kristen. It's funny. I usually don't hear those kinds of answers from a director. So I love that you gave me just really fun answers.
Yeah. No, yeah. Why? What do you normally get? Like some angsty, like director bullshit stuff?
I would
Sorry,
take Ran or Seven Samurai from Kurosawa. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not one of those directors.
Dia, what
Kristen's
you
not
got?
a regular director. She's a cool director.
She's a cool director. You can't quote Mean Girls here without me knowing. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Dia, what you got for us? What movies would you pick?
I was gonna pick The Princess Bride. I mean, I've seen it a million times. It came out in 1987 when I was born.
Hey, so did I.
And it was seen as a failure for years, which I can relate with. It was seen as a flop.
Oh my God.
I think it blew up when like Blockbuster was blowing up and people started renting it. So it was a theater flop.
I didn't realize we could have like a Princess Bride off either, Dia. We could probably do like entire scenes.
We really could. I mean, I love the movie. I read The Making of the Princess Bride that Carrie Elwes.
Did you read the book, The Princess Bride by William Golding? I mean, how amazing is that?
So good. I mean, it's all incredible.
We're gonna have to like have a, yeah, okay, later.
Wow.
And
So this
Godfather.
Godfather. Good pick.
Hey.
That's a great pick. That is a pick I would not have expected. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was expecting something a little bit more Princess Bratty. I like that answer.
I love The Godfather. I go around to my family sometimes and make them kiss my rings. Like, what are you doing? This is my Godfather impression.
I do it.
Often.
I think we all have a Don Corleone impersonation though at this point in society. Like, I think we all do. That's a really good pick. Princess Bride was, I like that one too, because I came out in 1987 just like the film did as well. I want you guys, and this is going to be the last question that I ask you. I want you guys to give me your pitch for why people should check out I Hate New Year's.
Because it sucks right now. And
You took my answer.
in 8 minutes of fantastic music, super fun chemistry, and lovely ladies. What else is there?
Well, I don't need much else in my life.
Me neither.
Good pitch. What we got, Ashley? Dia?
I mean, that's exactly what I was going to say. 2020 has been kind of a dumpster fire, you know?
Yeah.
So it really is just an hour and a half of just, the movie has so much heart and it's really positive and fun and funny and wonderful. And it's a good hour and a half of positivity and love. And that's why I think people should watch it.
That's a really wholesome answer.
I watched Hillbilly Elegy yesterday and I was like it's just 2 hours of tragedy and overdosing, and sorry for spoiler alert, but like just tragedy after tragedy. And I was just like, I need to watch Charlie Brown Christmas right now. Like, I can't do this. I Hate New Year's is just such a feel-good holiday film. And going back to what Christin said, I feel like it's a movie that represents different stories that we don't often see, and I get to watch it with my 2 queer sisters at the screening on the 5th at 2 p.m. PST time. So it's just really exciting because I one of them said to me the other day, it's really cool that they can see themselves in a movie, and that's just really important. And they have crushes on, but like, whatever, it's fine.
Who doesn't?
I guess I said that like I was jealous that they didn't have crushes on me, but that'd be really weird. So
let's just start with if they didn't have crushes on you guys before, and 17-year-old William did have a crush on Dia. Not gonna lie. Ashley, they will have crushes on you afterwards. That's all I'm saying. Monster was on repeat in my house for my entire senior year. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
It's been a few years. I'm getting older. But no, thank you guys for joining us. That's an amazing answer. And honestly, I'm going to give them the skinny. They should check out this movie because it's a great romantic comedy, something that is equal parts charming, endearing, but it also tells a story that we don't often get too often, which is, an LGBTQ told from a lesbian's perspective. I love the music in it. It's great. I look forward to writing the review for this and having the accompanying audio for this. So be on the lookout for that, guys. Share it all over your social media if you want to. Thank you guys for joining us. If they want to find you guys on social media and harass you violently, how would they do so?
I'm at Ashley Argota 9 on all of my social media.
I'm just Dia Frampton.
I'm Christin, Christin Tello. And then you can also follow the company that made the movie, Tello Films, Tello Films.
You guys should definitely all do that. And as a thank you for joining me, you should all do that because they've been lovely. They've been hilarious. I didn't expect to have as much fun on this today as we did. And I hope you guys had fun too. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining me. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and disappear now. Bye.
Disappear. Bye, all.
Bye, everyone.